It was a freezing evening in January, the kind where the cold seems to cut right through your coat and settle into your bones. The 8:45 p.m. train from New York to New Jersey was running late, and the platform buzzed with the quiet frustration of tired commuters. Among them was David, a mid-level accountant, disheveled from a long day at work, clutching a half-empty coffee cup like it was his last lifeline. He checked his watch for the fifth time in as many minutes. His mother's birthday dinner was at 9:30, and she was turning 70. David had promised he'd be there. He'd already missed her last two birthdays. Always work, always some emergency that never really felt like one in hindsight. Finally, the train screeched into the station, and the crowd poured into the cars. David found a seat by the window, his knee bouncing with impatience. He stared out at the dark cityscape slipping by, his mind racing between guilt and the hope that traffic from the station wouldn't be too bad. About halfway through the ride, the train suddenly jerked to a stop in the middle of nowhere, just empty tracks and distant streetlights. A groan rippled through the passengers as an announcement crackled over the intercom. "Attention passengers, we are experiencing a signal failure. We'll be moving again shortly." Shortly stretched into 10 minutes, then 20, then 40. David felt a gnawing ache in his chest. His mother had always been forgiving, but he knew how much tonight meant to her. As frustration built, David noticed the older man sitting across from him, gray-haired, wearing a worn leather jacket, tapping his fingers lightly on his knee. The man caught David's eye and gave a small smile. "Late for something important?" the man asked. David exhaled sharply. "My mom's birthday. I promised her I'd be there this time." The man nodded slowly. "Mothers are patient until they're not," he said with a chuckle. "I used to miss a lot of dinners with my daughter. Thought work was more important. Turns out it wasn't." David felt the words hit him square in the chest. They sat in silence after that, both staring at the dark world outside the window. When the train finally lurched forward, it was almost 10:30 by the time David reached his stop. He sprinted to catch a cab, his heart pounding. He arrived at his mother's house just before 11, the party long over, but the lights were still on. David knocked softly, bracing for disappointment. His mother opened the door, her silver hair neatly done, her lipstick slightly faded, and a small smile playing at her lips. "You made it," she said softly. David swallowed the lump in his throat. "I'm sorry I'm late, Mom." She pulled him into a hug. "You're here now."